I know I've not made a video in a while. I've been really busy printing stuff and getting stuff ready, so I have not been doing a lot of videos as of such. And I wanted to make this video because a friend of mine who also does 3D printing, we have one problem, and that is the spools keep getting too low to use. So you end up with all these spools of waste that are too not full enough in order to continue your prints. So we've tried different things to make it work. Hey Juan Soto, thanks for joining me. And so I wanted to make this video to show him how to make it work with this cool little new tool that I found right here. And let me see if I got it. Cool. So the procedure is pretty easy. And I'm actually printing something right now that, if you can see it from here in the other room, printing in there, or way down there, that is using a spool that was actually 3 combined all together. Hey Chillin, thanks for joining us. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you some cool little tricks that I figured out last night doing my spools of combination. Oh, and see, these make great falling towers. Now, one thing I like to do too is I like to keep at least one empty spool and use it to weigh to see how much an empty spool is. Then I could put, if I'm making multiple parts the same over and over, I can weigh that part and weigh the other spool and see which one, see how much it weighs before I start going to town and printing. I don't like relying on the feature for the detector lets you know when you're out of filament. I find if you wait for the detector to let you know when you're out of filament, many times it will also shift on you just slightly when you go to change it, and you'll end up with a shift in your print and it's all messed up and won't work. You're going to need a drill motor too, and I'll explain why I use this later on, and some sort of auger that has a large base, 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, something like that, and I'll explain how I make these all work together. You're going to want some sandpaper, and you are going to want some side cutters. Now, when you buy this little kit, it comes with little pieces of sandpaper like this that rip through pretty quick, and they work okay, but it's good to have that. You're also going to need a timer, and the kit comes with the timer. It also comes with explicit directions with pictures to show you exactly how to do it step by step, and I'll walk you through this in a few seconds, showing you exactly how to do this process. All right, so the first thing is we have to figure out what spools we're going to combine. So I'm going to take this one on the bottom here because it seems to be, oh, it's not as full as I thought. This one looks like it's pretty full, but I'm not sure what the heck happened there. I think it unspooled on me. I'm not going to use this one because I'm afraid. But we will use this one here. This one looks pretty good. And I'll just set it, I'll turn this 90 degrees. I'll put this on this side. And you want to make sure that you're spinning it so that it comes across the bottom of your spool, not across the top. And on this one, you also want to make sure it's across the bottom. Think of it like a reel-to-reel tape back in the 80s, where you had the stream connected between as it spun. If you have them offset, then you'll be fighting the curve the whole time, and it won't coil up correctly. So make sure you have the lower half on the bottom. Okay, the first step, set my timer for 2 minutes, then hit start. And then we're going to take and push this button right here, and it's going to preheat for 2 minutes. Once it preheats, you can see inside there is some little metal pieces, and those metal pieces is where it heats up at, and that's where we're going to put our stuff in a minute. All right, in 2 minutes actually. Okay, you want to take and cut off the corners, or cut off the pieces and make sure they're square, not pointed, not side angled or anything else. So let me go ahead and get this one off of there, and try to use the ledge of the base right here in order to keep it in place. I'll aim that down so you guys can see better what the heck I'm doing. So I'm using this for friction to keep it from spinning too much, and I'm going to cut this one off right at a flat, as flat as I can get it. You guys can see that or not in the camera, probably not. I'll just tuck it in here so it can get unspooled. And on this side, same thing. I'm going to unwind it. And again, try to cut it really flat. I want to get past this wrinkle piece right here, otherwise it may cause problems later on. Make sure you hold both sides when you cut it so you don't accidentally let the spring away. Now you notice I'm being very careful not to let it just on its own unwrap. If you let it unwrap on its own, you'll end up with a mess like this. Oops, I turned off my iPad. There we go. Push play on here. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mr. Feelings. All right. So, again, if you let your stuff release on its own, you'll end up with these loose. And this looseness will cause it to get caught sometimes in your printer. So you want to keep it tight whenever you can. So that one is probably... All right. Our 2 minutes is up. That one pretty quick. So now... I'm going to take the spool that I want to have spun up on. I'm going to open this up, open the jaws of life, and put it right into the middle of the metal, just like that. And now I'm going to take the other side and turn this off. And now I'm going to jam it in. I'm not going to reopen it. And as you put it in there, you can feel where they both meet, and it will just kind of melt a little bit. I can feel them going in. And it's going to make a little bit of a... I'm going to push this side a little bit and see how it goes. And push this side. And now I want to squeeze this clamp extra tight. I found this out the hard way. If you don't squeeze the clamp, I found if you add a little bit of heat, it kind of helps too, but you're really not supposed to. And then I'm going to go ahead and reset my timer, pushing these two buttons. And I'm going to set it for 5 minutes. Yes, you have to hear me jabber for 5 minutes because this is a live video stream. All right, so once I get this all set and ready to go, the next trick is to get this spool wound up on this one. But before we do that, we're going to have to take off any flasking that is caused in this process. And then we're going to have to sand it so it's relatively the same size all the way around. Because if it's too big, it's going to get caught in your printer and not print. The timer's counting down. Is that reversed to you guys? Let me look at my other thing and see if it's reversed or not. It's reversed where I see it. I guess I gotta wait for my live feed to catch up. Okay, I'll just fast forward here. We don't mind the education for us. Cool. All right, it's not reversed. It's funny because when I'm looking at it, it looks reversed on my screen, but that's cool. It's not reversed to you guys. Excellent. So I got 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, last night I tried to pull it out early, thinking, okay, I'll just yank it out early. And it didn't work. I ended up cutting off both sides and redoing it again. Which is cool because it's not that big of a deal. You just cut the two ends again, push it together, and you're raring to go. All right. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left. Juan Solo says, I didn't know it was a porno. Not sure why you think it's that. I must have said something that led you to believe it was. Sorry, man. All right, let's keep holding this. Oh, pull it out early. Now I know what you're saying. So, again, you're going to want your drill motor, and I'll explain what this is for in a minute. It makes life so much easier. The first spool I did not have this, and I was not happy. And then I thought, okay, I got to figure out a way to make this work. And when you see this, you're like, okay, I can see where Hebreo's coming from now. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. So the cool thing is, for those that are hanging out here and watching this video, is I convinced my wife to let me get a second printer. So this should help make production a lot faster, so I can get this wait list done and get started on the next wait list sooner. So I got a new table on order. The new table is going to be here next Friday. The new printer is going to be here this Friday, but I'm debating whether I'm going to open it up and set it up or not because I don't have a place to put it yet. So we'll see. I may put a temporary table. I hate picking it up. It's so heavy. The new printers are monstrous because they are those giant ones that I have. And it's kind of something that once you start to put it on the table, you kind of don't want to have to keep moving it. My old printer is sitting on the floor over here. It's dead. And it is at the end of its life. So that one's probably to go to my friend for spare parts. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's hard to see what the camera's seeing because I got it reversed. But it has been repaired too many times and it is done. Yeah, I guess you could see it. All right, less than a minute left. Tick, 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 tick. It's so tempting just to pull it out and just get it done. But I know that from trial and error in the past, if I release this clamp too early, it will get stuck inside here and I won't be able to get it out without damaging the filament. Let's see. Frederick says I have actually seen when someone uses a piece of plywood and got some holders that could be manually rotated and made a reel-to-reel. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I actually did think about that. I was going to get some some paper towel spools. I was an asshole. I went to pick some up yesterday, but I did not. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Listen to that annoying sound. Oh, stop it now. Okay. Let's go ahead and take this apart. Ooh. Try to get it out of there without causing any damage. There we go. And you can see the flashing I was talking about that is caused from this. If you can see that or not. So to get it off, you just take and bend it back and forth, and it comes off pretty easily. Erp. And now you're stuck with this little piece here that is the wrong shape. So you just get yourself some sandpaper, bend it around town, and then just sand that part a little bit smaller so that it is about the same size all the way across. Takes a little bit of effort. The sandpaper it comes with was not strong enough, so I had to grab some 120. I thought it would work better. I'm trying to use whatever they had. This is pretty hardy sandpaper too, so. Okay, I'm getting kind of a weak spot here, so I have to be careful that I don't cause too much damage. Oh, and it just snapped on me. No! Well, I was afraid of that because I could tell it was getting kind of weak. So let's try this one more time. It's funny, when I'm not on camera, it works really well and really quick. Now that I'm on camera. Cool thing is you guys get to see it more than once. Just in case you weren't sure exactly how to do this. I know the jaws are still pretty warm. So yesterday I had the same issue. So I'm going to go ahead and just jam it on in there while it's heating up. And you can tell because they will start to melt together once you get it in there and lined up. Yeah, it's still too cold. Too cold. And then you guys are probably wondering why the heck the screen's vibrating. Okay, there we go. Yep, it's definitely soft enough and it's mushing together like it's supposed to. So let's go ahead and kill the thing, reset. So it's funny, today I was cleaning that room to get it ready for the next printer. I moved a bunch of furniture around. I got a spot big enough now for the new table. So it's going to be awesome. Little print farm in there. Is there a machine that we can rewind the plastic filament onto a reel? Well, I've seen people make all kinds of cool machines. I actually saw someone use Techno Lego to do it, and that was kind of cool too. But I will show you something in 4 minutes and 12 seconds, 4 minutes and 10 seconds, 9, a way that I have found yesterday. Now, they actually had one machine I was going to buy, and it was on like a Kickstarter type thing, and it allowed you to load in like 4 different spools, and it would mesh them together and create different colors. And you could actually, I was going to just put all greens in there. And so as it runs out, it just starts the next one and combines it with the line. So you don't have to worry about it at all. And it's like, that's the way to go. But unfortunately, the Kickstarter failed and they didn't get them made because not enough people bought into the Kickstarter. So that was kind of stinky. So I was kind of bummed about it. Because that's been really handy to have, so when one spool runs out, the next one just kicks right in and keeps going. And having, multiple spools lined up like that. They all fit in, and then they had a spot where they'd merge and then come out again like this. Even though, yeah, it was kind of cool. Now, if you wanted to do different colors, it had a little block it would print off to the side to get all the color through, so you wouldn't end up with a half mixed colors on the way down. Now for my printer that wouldn't work because it's such a long throw. I guess it would. I guess it knows where the tip is. So I guess it would work. It'd have to just do it early. Yeah, I guess it'd work. Never mind. Two minutes and 30 seconds left. We're halfway through the cool down phase. Yeah, my poor wife. Another printer? I said, I got to. I said, I asked for the first 10 people, and I actually have 15 on my list. I went a little above my 10. I turned away so many people. I just felt horrible. I felt bad about it. It's like, oh, I want to get a floor. I want to get a wall. It's like, dude, I'm sorry. My wait list is full. And then people that have been customers for a long time contacted me too. And it's like, oh, I kind of hate to turn them away because they bought floors from me in the past. And now they want to just, continue their pieces. So I actually have a wait list of 15 instead of 10 this time. So a few more than I was planning. So it's going to take, if I only had one printer, it would take a long time to get them all done, which is why I opted to buy a second printer. So now I can get them done. Yes. This is hardly any plastic from how many I've used. I've used so many green spools. It's crazy. Yeah, this is probably cool. I'm going to let go and let it just sit on its own. Let me check it out really quick. Let me go to Ramazon. Ramazon. Let's see how many green spools I have purchased. Amazon. Amazon. Let's see. Green. Filament. Search. I have bought 39 rolls of green filament. And I have some on the way too on top of it. So I had 39 of these spools of green. I have bought a lot. So that is why I'm glad I can combine them now, because I have a whole bunch in the other room. I didn't keep all 39, I don't think. So there you go. So I have purchased a lot of filaments through the years. All right. 6 seconds left. Mike Feast, like, I understand the frustration with making stuff. Yes, sometimes it can be very frustrating. Like last night, like I said, I ran out of filament in the middle of printing one of Mike's walls. And so to keep me on schedule, Mike canceled one of his walls. Thanks, Mike. And I said, enough is enough. I'm going to figure this stupid thing out, how to combine them. And so after Mike's wall didn't print, I sat on my bed with this little tool, and it's like, I'm going to figure this thing out today. Today is the day. And so I did. Okay, that looks pretty strong. Now, it's not as strong as before it was ever merged. So this piece would be stronger than the new piece. The new piece will always have a weak area there. But all you need is enough strength for it to spin it into the machine and get it down the tube, and then you're fine. So it doesn't need to be as strong, because once it melts at the end of the tube, it's going to be molten plastic coming out. So then it will be solid in the build of the part. It's like that spot on an earthworm in the middle. It's kind of weird. Oh, it's getting weak again. All right, I think that is good. So now, the cool part. Check this out. So now that I have all my stuff ready, clean off this mess, take my 2 spools, and now take my drill motor, put this in the bottom, just like that. There we go. And now that I have that ready, I'm just going to take and spin this right up from one to the other. You're going to follow me, aren't you? All right, let's get this again. Here we go. Hooray! And that is it. That is how you do that. I gotta find that end where it's spooled up, and I will unhook it and be able to print with it. There it is. Ooh. So there we go. Now I'll take another spool when I'm off camera and hook it to it too, and have all three of them hooked together. So I know it's not quite as cool as a spool to spool thing, but you know, with this auber, you don't really need a spool to spool. You just hold it with your finger and burp. Yep, it is like a car. All right, anyway, that's all I got. I'm going to send this to my friend Steve and show him how cool this is. And now I have a spool that's big enough to print a wall without running out of filament. So there we go. So I should have a video hopefully tonight. And I think that's it. Thanks, Mike. It does sound like an old car. I tell you, the first time I did this, I went, the whole entire time my hand on my shoulder was killing me. I'm like, well, there's got to be a better way. And I looked downstairs for paper towel holders and everything else. And I thought, you know, if I can get my drill to work somehow. And I tried putting it on top, trying to spin it, and it just didn't work. I thought, you know what? I could put it under it and then just run it. Being this is rubber, it grips on really good on the underside, and it's larger than the hole. It's like, that works great. All right, you guys know me. I always try to figure things out. Yep, sure, Juan Soto. Thanks for joining me, and that is a wrap. I will see you guys with another video some other time in the future. Bye now.